Hello and welcome back to video 2. That's right, this is part 2 of the 2-part videos. I'm going to jump straight back in now. So the third race that I did 4 if you remember in the previous video I said. The third race is here at Monza, and you'll notice I've now changed cars. I'm going to try out the Mustang. Now the reason I'm doing that, if you've watched the previous video you'll know, is because we've got a championship upcoming here at GTSM, and I'm torn between two cars, the Lancer, which I did the first 2 races in, and the Mustang. So I'm going to give this one a go now. I'm going to see how we get on with the Mustang. Once again, as you can see, starting at the back, but that doesn't put me off. I like a good challenge, and you can probably notice as well the lobby's a bit smaller, but that's fine, that's fine. Now going into the chicane here, I did just tap the guy there in front. I didn't mean to, it was an honest mistake, so I'll just back off a little bit here. I'm going to let him get settled, let him get ahead of me. That's the right thing to do. I did that at Dragon Trail, if you remember. I tapped the guy in first and I just backed off and give him the place back. And that actually works out better for me as well, if you remember. So let's see if this works here, I don't know. So coming down now towards the second chicane. Now these chicanes, if you've driven here at Monza, it's so easy to get a penalty here, especially going through the chicanes. The track limits are very tight, and if you just look to the left now, you see the guy there in third just going off into the gravel. Again, here at Monza, if you just go hair's width off the track too much and hit that gravel, it's just gonna pull you clean off the track. So hopefully that won't happen to us. Now, as you saw that, I got a decent run out of the second Lesmo, and I'm just going to go straight past the BMW there in second, with my eyes firmly set on the guy in first place. And you probably recognise the name if you watched the previous video, Daffy Type R. Now, I do apologise if that's not how he wants it to be said, and I said that as well in the last videos. I'm going to repeat myself a lot apparently. But yeah, I've got my sights firmly set on him now. He's a very good, very clean, competitive racer, very fast, and I want to see if I can catch him on this track as well. Now, in a straight line, this Ford Mustang is a very quick car. As you can see there, Daffy just trying to break the toe a little bit. But yeah, in a straight line, this car will just absolutely fly past. Now, I'm in the slipstream, which does help to catch up. As you can see just how close we are now coming into the first chicane. He was so far ahead towards the end of that last lap. So I'm just going to tuck in behind him now, maybe poke my nose out a little bit, but I'm just going to settle in behind him. I want him to know I'm right there. Now, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to push him. I'm not going to try and beat him too much into the corners. I'm just going to use the slipstream like he did. I'm going to pull up as I've done, and I'm going to see if I can get him under braking. Now, the downside of this car is the cornering speeds. It's not the best at cornering, not compared to the guy in first. That car will corner a lot better than the Mustang. He just gets himself a little bit sideways there, so again I just back off a little bit and I let him regain his composure, because I know coming down this straight now I'm going to be in the slipstream. The BMW is in mine. Now I've got to worry about that, but I'm in the slipstream firmly, as you can see. I'm going to give him a little bit of a bump. You saw me give him a little bit of a bump draft. That's just to boost his speed a little bit to help us pull away from the guy behind me. Now I'm going to go on the inside, and he's just going to take it again. That car handles so well, and I think that was just me ignoring track limits a little bit there. Am I going to get a penalty? Yes, maybe. Yep, I got a penalty. And the BMW getting an excellent exit there. And again, you will recognise that guy's name there, August. He's the guy who set these rooms up. And again, excellent driver. Very fast, very clean, very competitive. So now we're coming round the last bend. We just come around the last bend onto the home straight, and we're going to go 3 wide down the straight. It's a drag race down the straight towards the first chicane. This will show us who's got the fastest car in a straight line. Almost side by side, they're all 3 of us going over the line. And as you can see, the Mustang showing its power. The speed of this car in a straight line is fantastic, but the cornering is problematic. As Daffy gets a little bit sideways, hopefully he can correct that. So yeah, cornering in this car very difficult, but straight line speed, as you saw there, easily just walks away a little bit there. Now the German in second, August, like I said, he created these dreams and he's chose the BMW. Now, if I'm right, I think on the first 2 races, he was in different cars for them as well. He's done a different car each race. I don't know if that's just something he likes to do, mix it up a little bit, or if he's looking as well for a specific car, much like myself. But he's chose the BMW. And as we come out the second Lesmo onto the straight, you'll see there's a bit of a gap forming now. The reason being, and I wouldn't have guessed this to be honest with you, but that BMW in a straight line isn't actually all that fast. It's quick off the mark up to a certain point, but then it lacks top end, unlike the Mustang. The Mustang just keeps pulling and pulling and pulling, and you'll see now as this race commences what I mean by that. That BMW does struggle at the top end. If he can get in the slipstream, that will help massively. But in a straight line, the Mustang will outrun BMW. So far, I think I've made quite a good choice. And that's going to make my choice for the next championship very difficult, because now I've got to work out if I want a car that's very fast in a straight line, this Mustang, or a car that isn't all that fast in a straight line. In fact, it struggles even in the toe of this Mustang, ironically enough, but he's very good in the corners. I've got to work out where I want to put my strength for the next championship. Okay, so through the first chicane there, we set the fastest time so far on lap 3. I'm going to see if we can beat that again. Now, August catching a little bit. He got a better run out the first chicane. But again, straight line speed is my friend. And as you know, Monza has quite a lot of straight line track. So I'm hoping to just kind of get through the chicane. Not too bad though, actually. Hoping to get through there fairly good, in good condition. Get through the first and second Lesmo here and really nail this second one. Put the power down as quick as I can down that straight. That's just going to make that gap a lot bigger, which will make me feel a lot more comfortable. Because this August, let me tell you, he is a very, very good driver. And I don't know how to say this in a different way, basically, but when he's right behind you, he lets you know he's there. He doesn't, it's not like foul play. He's not pushing you anywhere or trying to nudge off the right. He gets in your mirror, and that's all you can see. And then that's all you're thinking about, and you completely miss your braking zones. You miss everything. So I've got to try and get away from this guy. Now, here is one of the straights I was talking about. It's a decent length, and you'll see now the gap just starting to widen a little bit. In fact, the gap between first and second and third, getting quite big between as well. So I don't know, we've got 1 lap to go. I'm coming around now onto the last lap. Will anyone be able to catch up? Let's find out now as we come around the corner for the second to last time onto the 5th lap. Now there we go, once again getting the fastest time, 1:47.8. Can I do better than that? Let's find out. Hurtling down towards the first chicane, hard on the brakes. You see the front end dip there as I was on the brakes so hard, and I didn't do a very good job there. I will admit I ran a little bit too deep out of the first part of that chicane, and that's going to slow me down and possibly make so I don't get a better lap time. But then again, 1:47.8 isn't too bad, actually. That's not too bad. So yeah, even if that's the fastest lap I can do, I'm happy with that, actually. So through the second chicane there, touching the, well, basically the sausages aren't the massive things. Touch them and they can wreck your race. Luckily, they didn't. I'm going to run out as far as I can there, just about staying within the limits of the track. Again, you don't want to touch that gravel even a little bit. Now you'll see here now the gap between myself and the guy in second, August. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger the longer I'm in front, and he just cannot get back into that slipstream now. And if I don't mess up, I should come home in first here. But let's make sure I don't, because it's very easy to get a penalty, like I keep saying, and especially coming around the last corner. It's a very, very long right-hander, and it's quite tight as well, actually. It's a bit uneven, so you've got to really make sure you do a good job. So here we go, hard on the brakes, turning in, trying to take as much speed as we can around the corner without actually stepping out and sliding or crashing or anything. I think we're going to do it. We're going to come across the line, going down the side of the pit wall in first place. So there you go. That's a first place for us here at Monza. It was a very good race for all involved, actually. I very much indeed liked that race. So that is now the second victory out of 3 races. That's 2 firsts and a second. And we've got 1 more race, and again getting the fastest lap, which is always a nice bonus. So this is now the final race of the night. This is the final race that I did in this lobby with these fantastic people, and we're here at Spa. And once again, as you can see, I'm at the back, and I'm still in the Mustang. And the reason for that is because, one, there's a lot of straights here. Or if it's not even a straight, it's just a long piece of track where you're completely flat out. So the Mustang's a good choice here. But 2, this is its second race. Now I give the Lancer 2 races. I'm going to give the Mustang 2 races, and I want to see how they compare. Now going into the first corner, everyone giving it lots of room. Actually, no one pushing, no one going off, no one hitting anybody in the back and sending them off the track. Very, very well done into a very, very difficult first corner. Okay, so here we are. We're back behind August, and as you can see, he's changed his car again. He's in the Mustang. He's going to go off track. I didn't know where he was going to go as he came back on, so I did end up giving a little bit of a tap. I tried to get out of the way, couldn't. But he's chose the Mustang. Very, very interesting, because now it's a bit of a stalemate. You know, I'm in a Mustang, he's in a Mustang. So coming onto the straights, it's going to be like the immovable object and the unstoppable force. You know, there's just going to be this chaos in the straights, because neither one of us will be able to pull away. So I'm actually looking forward to this race. But as soon as I noticed he was in a Mustang, I thought this is going to be a really, really good tight race. And it all comes down to the cornering. Who can get the better corners and not mess up? And I was hoping that was not going to be me. Because let me tell you, as much as I love Spa, I really do like this track. It's a fantastic track. It's also quite a tricky track, very slidey. And coming into like these corners here now, it makes you feel like you can go faster than you actually can. And I'm not the best at this track, I'll admit. Sometimes I'll drop too many gears, sometimes I'll stay in a high gear and I'll lose loads of time, and I just don't want to do that this time. Now coming round onto, well, almost onto, as you can see, they're struggling to get back on track, and hopefully I don't get a penalty there. I think I might have just got away with that. Yeah, I'm going to say I got away with that. And the gap there opening up a little bit, I must have got a bit of a better exit. But to be fair to August, he's defending it, so he can't race as cleanly as I can, because he has to defend. So that's going to slow him down. So as I was saying, then coming down there, it's not technically a straight, but it's completely flat out. So that's where the Mustang really comes into its own. Now August has dropped off there. I'm not sure what's happened there. He's dropped from 2nd to 4th. Not quite sure what happened there. But we have another contestant now in 2nd. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that, because I'll be honest with you, I have no idea. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Let's just see how this guy can race. How good is this guy? Can he catch up to us? I'm not even sure what car he's in, so it's going to be interesting to find out. Now there is a bit of a gap there, as you can see. You come up over, he's just about going over the curbs there, and I didn't get a penalty there. So I must have literally been right on the very edge of the track limits there. Now coming straight down here, going purple the second lap, you're going to go purple on the second lap. You know, unless you completely wipe out and end up stationary for 5 seconds, you're going to go purple on your second lap. So nothing too spectacular. But coming down to what I now think is possibly the hardest part of this track, this right-hander. It sounds stupid, it sounds like it should be so easy. But with the gradient of the road, it kind of falls away as well as turning. And again, it makes you feel like you can go quicker, and you really can't. You've got to tame it though. You can't even just for a second think, oh, I can go a little bit quicker, because you will just go straight off. You spin it, you'll crash it, whatever. Something will happen. It's such a difficult corner that to get right. So now we are on. So we're on lap 2, 5 laps. Now we're not going to watch all 5 laps like we have done for the previous races, simply because, one, this is a much longer track, and you'd just be sat here watching a Ford Mustang go around. No one really wants to do that. You want to see the action, you want to see what's going on. And 2, on the 3rd lap, because as you know, this is a replay. I'm talking this, this is a replay we're talking, so I know what's already happened. For the 3rd lap, as we're going to be coming up to soon, not much really happened. So yeah, I thought we'd just skip it ahead a little bit, to where it starts getting interesting, where there's a bit of battling going on, and then I can tell you more about how this car reacts to defending, reacts to pressure being put on. I know it's not the car, that's me as the driver, but you know, the car gives you the confidence. So as you saw there, we jumped ahead from the end of lap 2 to the beginning of lap 4, and the guy in second has caught up now. Now he has a penalty, and as you can see, so do I. 0.1 second penalty I got for going beyond track limits through Eau Rouge, which is I'm about to do now, so please, I don't want another penalty here. I'll take time a little bit better. Just about getting through without a penalty. But the guy behind me does have a penalty. Now, I could see he had one at this point. I didn't know how big of a penalty it was. So now I'm thinking, right, he's catching up, but he has a penalty. So I have two options. One, take it a little bit easier, lose the penalty I have, let the speed come down, which will reduce the penalty, which I've almost got rid of, to be honest. I had a 0.5 second penalty, and we're down now to 0.1. So that has come down a lot. So that's the first option. Slow down and let the penalty come down, and hope that the guy behind me's penalty is big enough. And as you can see there, it's 1.7 seconds, and that's where I could start seeing how big his penalty was. So the options were: one, slow down, get rid of my penalty, and let him get closer, knowing he has a penalty, or speed up, try and drive as fast as I can, don't lose my penalty, and potentially gain another one, which I don't want to do. So I opted for plan A. I decided to just slow it down a little bit, as our friend there in second just goes off track and he's going to get another penalty there. So his penalty is going to go up from a 1.7. You can see his banners flashing, and that's going to go up from 1.7 to 2.7 seconds. He got a 1 second penalty for track limits. That's a lot. Normally it's only half a second, but he got a full second penalty for that. So yeah, I decided to go for plan A. Slow down, get rid of my penalty, which will bring him into the play a lot more. As you can see, he's right on my tail now. But then he has to get rid of a 2.7 second penalty and get far enough ahead for him to be able to do that without me overtaking him or without me beating him over the line or anything like that with the penalties. He's got a lot of work to do here on the final lap. So here we go. Round the first corner, both of us very good round that first corner. He's going to be tucked straight into my slipstream all the way down here and through Eau Rouge. Please don't get a penalty. That's all I was thinking at this point. I do not need a penalty. Flirting like crazy with the track limits. And look at the speed he's carried through there in that. It's a BMG, isn't it? It's a fantastic car. I didn't realise he was in that, to be honest with you. And he's already took first, so you can see. Now I'm on his inside. Who's got the fastest car down here? And it looks like it's a bit of a stalemate, actually. I'm not sure who would win in a straight line speed, though. But I had the inside track. And he didn't try and fight it too much at all. He knew he couldn't make the move in front of me without causing absolute chaos. So he just let me get back in the lead there. Very, very good sportsmanship driving from the guy in second. Now, as we come towards the end of the race now, you can see my penalty's gone. His hasn't. He's got a 2.5 second penalty, I think it is. 2.3 second penalty. He's got to get rid of that. How is he going to do that without falling too far behind to make a strike into the corners, or get ahead of me and then lose it and stay ahead of me? That's a very tall ask in one lap, and it's going to be extremely difficult. And I'm looking forward to see what he does. Now here he goes. He goes around the outside of a very difficult corner. If he can get that to stick, I'll tell you what, he has as well. He's got that to stick unbelievably well around there. Absolutely unbelievable driving. That is very hard to do around. So here we go now, back on the chase cam, and you're going to see something interesting here. I'm right behind him, and what you'll see is he just drops off a little bit there. Did you see that there? He just dropped off the power, let me pass to go around and take first position. I couldn't believe it when he did that. And I tell you what, I give massive respect to him for that. Massive respect indeed, because he knew he couldn't beat me over the line. You'll see it here now. Following him here, and he just drops off the power. There we go. he's let me come past. Massive respect. He could have tried to bully me off the track, give me a penalty, make me crash, then he could lower his penalty and cross the line. No, he didn't do that. Proper sportsman. What he did, he let me go through, take the victory, and then he killed his penalty before crossing the line. He didn't want to cross the line with a penalty, and I absolutely respect that. I really, really do. So there we go. Four races, 3 first and a second. Very productive night. Met some fantastic people, and I look forward to driving with them all again soon. So that's it from us all here, and until next time, thanks for watching.